Hello and welcome to episode 146 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Joining me on today's episode is an absolutely amazing actor who starred in easily one of the best TV shows of the last 20 years, and we get to sit down and talk all about Breaking Bad, all about the brand new film Triumph, and so much more. I'm thrilled to announce that today's guest is the amazing RJ Mitte. I was lucky enough to meet RJ Mitte face to face around 4 years ago at an MCM Comic Con. He was a great guy and we got to talk all about Breaking Bad. But so much has happened since then, I'm thrilled that he's back and I can't wait to share the episode with you in just a few minutes' time. But by now, you know what I like to do. It's a great opportunity at the start of each podcast to discuss the previous episode. And on episode 145, I was joined by Boise himself, John Chalice. Thanks so much for everyone that tuned in, got to hear all about Only Fools and Horses and his brand new series, Boise and Belgrade. A huge thank you to everyone that listened, and the feedback as always was phenomenal, so thank you. But let's get back to today's episode. I want to get straight to this interview. It's so good and RJ is one of the nicest guys in the business. So here's me and RJ Mitte talking all things TV and film. So RJ, thanks for joining me today on the Mark and Me podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, obviously, we will get on to the point of talking about Breaking Bad, your latest film, and all those sorts of things. But before we get there, let's take it back to the start. And I want to know what it was when you were growing up that made you fall in love with the idea of being an actor.
You know, I started because of my sister, right? My sister was 1.5 and she got casted out of a water park. And that's kind of what brought us to LA. And you know, if you don't go to school, you don't join a gang, and you don't act, and you live in LA, why are you there? I didn't really know anyone, didn't really have friends, so I kind of started acting to really just meet people, meet kids my own age, and turned into a career. You know, here we are 15, 16 years later, and I couldn't imagine, I just couldn't imagine my life any other way. And it was a surreal thing to just kind of just stumble upon, at the same time work for, you
Yeah,
know? I wasn't really working for a career like this, but at the same time, I wasn't not working for something.
yeah.
I started off as an extra on Hannah Montana, Everybody Hates Chris, Weeds, Seventh Heaven, and I always recommend to everyone, if they want to get into the industry and start acting, extra work is the way to go. It teaches you set etiquette. It
Yeah.
provides you an opportunity to even be on set when most actors audition but never actually even step foot on a set before. It provides a lot of tools that can give you a great start in your career. So I'm a firm believer of going down that path in the beginning, just in
Yeah.
case, because you might not like it. You might get on the set and be like, man, this is shit. um
Can you
and
remember those early first auditions? So you said you went on Weeds and all these American TV shows, but can you remember, did you have that fear and that fright of turning up to these auditions, kind of knowing that you really wanted it badly?
I think there was two projects that I really wanted badly, and one
Yeah.
of them I did not get, and luckily one of them I did get, and that was called Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear in everything in life. You can go into things very fearful, but I find I was very lucky that I learned early on in my career it's not up to me to get the job. Especially like in acting, it's not up to you.
No.
You could be the best actor in the world. You could say your lines perfectly and do all the right things. It doesn't mean you're going to get the job. Like you can go work any other job in the world and have all the credentials that they need, and they'll probably hire you. But it's not the same for actors.
No.
You could have all those same credentials, and they just be like, I don't like his hair, how his hair falls. Like, that's as simple as that, and you're not going to get the job. Um,
I mean,
so
you mentioned Breaking Bad, and I think any listener right now that would be listening will be, kicking my ass if I didn't talk about it. And
do it.
I know you get probably asked about it all the time, but how did that audition come about? How did it get that you were going to be involved? Because surely you never believed that when you went to this audition, it would ever become probably one of the most iconic TV shows of our generation.
No, I couldn't imagine what Breaking Bad would be. Uh, what Breaking Bad was then is today.
Yeah,
I just could not imagine. It was one of those surreal things where the role pretty much described me, and it said dark hair, big eyebrows, and mild cerebral palsy, and I'm like, man, I got all three of those things.
yeah,
Uh, and when we first started the show, we knew we had something special,
yeah,
but it just did not. We just didn't know, that people would receive it that well. And in the beginning, people didn't watch the show.
no,
We didn't have the numbers that we needed, but we were critically acclaimed, and that's what allowed us to stay on the network and stay in your living rooms and phones and all those things. And I think um, streaming was a big help for us in the
yeah.
long run. As much as streaming is not the best for television marketing and film. But when it came to just mass consumerism, it definitely is the name of the game. But it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it changed everything for everyone a part of the show. And I'm still in good relations with everyone a part of the show, and um, the legacy is still going.
It is,
We had
and it's Vince is an absolute genius. The stuff he
he
does, and how he
is.
does it with Better Call Saul. You think to yourself, how does he keep coming up with new ideas and twisting people? And where you think something's going to happen, he'll completely throw it off. And to be directed by him is, I can't even try and imagine how it felt. It must have been just like, this is insane.
It was pretty amazing when Vince was directing, and we saw his vision through his writing.
Yeah,
So no matter who was directing, because Vince would direct the first
yeah,
and the last, but we would have directors peppered through, um, of all kinds.
yeah.
We even had we had amazing directors from all over the world, and I was very lucky to get to work with each and every one of them. And what was truly remarkable is that the vision never fallied.
No,
What you saw in the scripts that Vince and the writing team wrote was literally what came to the screen.
yeah.
You can literally hold the script and compare it, and I think that's something that's very special, and a testament to the writing, that it's just so conveyable that it just there and it's there. Like like there's a lot of times in life where you work on projects, you're like, man, I don't understand this, or
No.
I it just does not make sense to me, and the whole project doesn't make sense, like, because everyone's not on that same page. And with Breaking Bad, it was so the opposite format. It was everyone was on the same page. Everyone knew what we were doing, when we were doing it, and how we were doing it to a T, that everything just went swimmingly.
And the chemistry you had with Bryan Cranston, like, I never knew, and I respect him more than any other actor out there. He's unbelievable. But I never
Yeah.
knew from watching stuff like Malcolm in the Middle that we had this character of Walter White in this person. And the way you two are on screen together, the intensity that you two have, was it quite challenging to be as revved up as him and in the moment and kind of thinking to yourself, my God, this guy's delivering this performance that is going to be talked about for years? Were you thinking, I need to match this. I need to be there with him. I need to.
I mean, yes and no. I like, because you're in it. You're not
Yeah.
you're not really, and it wasn't a competition.
No.
That was the thing, is like, what you described there is that competition aspect of the industry, where it's like, oh my god, I gotta keep one upping, and and raise my own bar. And like, we had this par where, yes, we wanted to do the best that we could do, but it wasn't that, oh, I have to do better.
No.
It I wanna match that
Match it.
energy.
Yeah.
I wanna be on that par, so it doesn't either overbear or overshadow each other. And that's really what we had on the set, was this open family, open heart set, where it was like, it wasn't about um sidestepping or overstepping, but really that ground par level of, like, everyone wants to achieve this same goal.
Yeah.
So, and we did.
And when it came to the end, and obviously we had the final season, was it as secret on set as it was? Because no leaks came out, no spoilers. It was great, because you know what it's like on Twitter and Facebook now.
Yeah.
Everyone knows someone. There's a photo of a script, or there's
Hmm.
someone leaked something. But with Breaking Bad, it felt so tight. As members of the cast, was it kind of the same for you guys?
It was. In season 4 we had script leaks.
Yeah.
And after that, set got locked down. Scripts were very, in the beginning, everyone got a script. Like,
Yeah.
in the pilot, in the first season, second season, even third season, crew got scripts.
Yeah.
Everybody got a script. It's like Oprah, like, it's Ellen. It's like, you get a script and you get a
Yeah.
script. Season 4, 5, and even technically 6, no one got scripts
No.
unless it was the day of. And really, we would get, sometimes we would even get fake scripts, or
Wow.
like unfinished scripts. And that was very unique. And though we never questioned it,
I
they
love
could
it. I love the fact
they
that you
could
probably,
show up.
yeah.
Yeah, they could show up and hand us a new script on the spot, and we'd be like, okay.
And it's great that you said you still keep in contact with them all. I mean, they must have felt like family. You committed so much of your life to that show.
Yeah, 7 years. I started it when I was 13, turning 14, and I finished it 20, turning 21. So
And is it amazing to be still known and everyone coming up to you always wanting stories about Breaking Bad? Or you kind of like, I don't want another Breaking Bad question?
no, it's wild. It's wild, but it's a very honoring and humbling thing to have a show like Breaking Bad, because it allows me to reach so many people and make such an impact in the community, in the world. And no matter where I go or what I do, I can have Breaking Bad to break the ice for me.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing. And now, obviously, at the moment, we're promoting Triumph. Now, you're not just
yes,
acting in that; you're a producer in this as well.
correct.
So how did this project come about?
Um, so I got reached out to by Michael Coffey, and was showing his story. This Triumph is about Michael Coffey's journey when he was a kid.
Yeah,
Uh, where he has cerebral palsy, and he wanted someone to represent him. So quite a few years ago, they reached out to me about being a part of this project, and how I could do, or what I could do to help, and um, raise funds, and brought producers in, and helped just bring this project to life. And I've been working on this project for around 6, 7 years now, and we had some hiccups along the way, but luckily we were able to pull the project up by its bootstraps, and get it done. And it was really passionate for me to be able to tell this man's story, and to provide him that opportunity to bring his story to life.
yeah,
That's something that I love about this film industry, is that film and television, media in general, but film and television really immortalizes story, and can change the future as well as the past. And I find that if you're able to take someone's story and journey, and archive it and recreate it in a way that is a testament to them, and you have them actually still alive as a reference, you can create quite an amazing story that relates and is real to so many people. And I feel like it was a story that people need to hear and see, and I'm very happy we're able to bring this film to fruition.
And how was it acting alongside Terrence Howard? Because obviously I'm a big fan of Marvel, so seeing him in Iron
Yeah,
Man, and then obviously the Oscar-winning film Crash. He's been there,
yeah.
he's done it all. How was it working alongside him?
It was good. I mean, he only worked a few days,
Yeah.
so I mean, like people like Terrence, they come in, they work 3 days, and they're out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. He was a cool dude. Yeah, Jonathan Satch, me and him. I don't know if you know Jonathan Satch, who plays my father in the film. Me and him really hit it off,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed working with him. And we had a great cast: Victoria Cox and Colton Haynes, and a lot of amazing people who really felt passionate about this project, and that was something that we needed. Because this isn't just some project like some money grab, right? This is a project that has value, and it's someone's life and their worth. And to me, um, having the right energy and the right people behind it are key.
Yeah. And with this now being out there, done, you've been involved as being a producer and an actor. What do you want to do next? Obviously, the world's gone to crazy shit territory,
Yeah.
and obviously it's not normal. But when we are starting to see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, what are you wanting to do next? Do you want to get involved in more passionate projects that you can be involved in being a producer, or would you like to carry on doing more acting? Or
Well, I would like a nice big check.
yeah, yeah.
First and foremost, the next project I would like to have a few commas attached to it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind directing. I have a few projects in the works right now. I'm working on a marijuana kind of project right now, based in Texas.
Okay.
That we're working on getting funded and produced. It's a movie / potential miniseries. So that's something that I'm working on. I have another project that came out, I don't know, this past year called The Oak Room. That's doing fairly well. And then I have a few other projects. As listeners can't see, I have a shaved head.
Yep.
And just wrapped up finishing another project called Isaac, which I have another week of filming left. And just doing a lot of work. I'm living in a town called Brownsville at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of Brownsville.
Whereabouts that?
South Texas.
Oh wow, lovely.
Very south. I'm sure you've heard of SpaceX, correct?
Yeah.
So we're down. SpaceX is like 45 minutes away from my house.
Wow.
But I've been here before SpaceX came here.
Yeah.
I was here first.
Yeah.
And so doing a lot of work down here with my family foundation.
Yeah.
So that's kind of taking up a lot of my time. I have a board meeting later today. So I have to handle that in the next little bit. But just working. I'd like to do some directing, but we'll see what happens. The future is endless.
I mean, directing is a great thing, and I see a lot of people that have done acting and then love the fact that they can get to go behind the camera because they've got the experience of how they want to be treated from a director and as an actor. So it's really interesting to hear that you're starting to get those thoughts and hopefully go into that, because I think the possibilities could be endless.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself really wanting, like, I'm very lucky to have learned the right shots and the right angles. And so when I see people on set or doing things, I'm just like, I'll be like, I'm one of those people, like, because I usually have very good power with my directors or my DPs. I'm like, yo, that's not going to work. And they're like, no, trust me. And they're like, yeah, that didn't work. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So I've definitely over the last like 5 years noticed my ability for filmmaking has grown quite significantly. And I think it's just that effect of crossover, of knowing how all these moving parts, as well as you don't have to remember any lines.
I ask a lot of actors the same question, and I'm really intrigued by this. Do you watch your own performances back, or do you finish and that's it? You just kind of
finish and done. Finish. Yeah. I do the work. I film it. And then nope.
Even with Breaking Bad.
Yep. Even send that baby off. Send that. Like, no, this don't look like me. Send that away.
That's crazy. You're missing out on a good show there, dude.
Well, I've seen the first episode of every season and the last episode of the last season.
Wow, there's a lot of stuff that happens in between.
I read it. I know what happens. I read all of them, so I'm very aware of what happens in the show. I was there.
Yeah. Is it that you can't see? Do you sort of cringe yourself, or you just don't?
Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan.
No.
I don't even know how y'all listen to my voice. I'm just like not about it.
Oh man, one day sit down, get the box set, get some munchies, and just sit and enjoy it. I
got the box set. I got 2 box sets sitting on my shelf. That shit's still wrapped.
And a question I ask everybody that comes on the show, it doesn't matter if they're a director, an actor, producer, but what advice do you give to people that are listening today, like yourself, that want to get into the industry, that are wanting to be an actor? You said you went and you should go for any extra work you can, but what else advice can you give to these people that are listening?
Home in your social media.
Yeah.
Be aware of what you say, what you post. That's more relevant than ever before. That's even more relevant than being a good actor. Just because if you don't have the right messaging or content, or if you're putting out things that people may not understand or may find hurtful, but not intending to be hurtful, but may find hurtful.
Yeah.
You gotta protect that. You gotta refine your social media. You gotta understand that being in this industry, you have an obligation, not just to yourself, but to the masses, to mass media, to every person that you see and talk, or because they're all potential fans of your work. They're all people that are going to see you, and I find you have to really protect yourself. So really home in your social media, clean that thing out, and get an accurate representation of who you are online. Sign up for acting classes. Sign up for extra work. I know the acting classes now, most of them are online.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I'm not a big fan of that.
No.
But the thing is, as long as you're working with someone and you're coaching on your auditions and you're putting yourself out there, just keep trying. I've known people that have worked 30 years, and through that 30 years, they knocked on every door and just it didn't work, except for that 30th year when they get the role, and here they are, and it's like they're a star now. And that's the thing. It's just, if you have a dream, don't give up your dream. Be it acting, life, whatever it may be, travel. If you have a dream to do so, go for it wholeheartedly.
And how have you found the whole lockdown stuff? Have you been able to get involved in more projects you didn't think? Has it took a big kind of halt for you? Is it frustrating, or have you kind of reflected on what you want from life, or has it just been a bit of a kick in the dick and you're like, this is just frustrating?
I mean, I lost 80% of my income last year, so that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of work that is still carries on.
Yeah.
Hell or high water.
Yeah.
So for me, all my industry projects, got halted.
Yeah.
But when it came to my philanthropic work and my foundation work, we still have meetings online. We still do the daily grinds and finance and all that. So really, for me, it's more or less I gained 30 pounds because I'm not traveling.
Yeah.
I'm not working in traditionally how I used to, but I'm still working every day. I work even twice as much now than I did before.
Yeah. That's a good
thing. I just don't make as much money as I did before. You don't make as much sitting on a screen.
Sell those Breaking Bad box sets.
Yo, I have, man. I've been pushing them. That's why I got 2 left.
That's it. Yeah, you had 200 of them.
Yeah, I wish. Damn. All signed
Yeah.
and
Just
sold.
start
Yeah.
faking them as well. Just like Brian on them.
Oh my God, get sued instantly. Like big old scandal.
And have you got any plans to do any more conventions? Are you going to come to the UK when things are back normal?
Yeah. I just got actually asked to do a convention next month in Boston.
Yeah.
So the stuff is coming back around. I have some other plans potential for the UK, but as of right now, open schedule.
Yeah. And my final
Yes.
question, and I make this quite unique for the episode, is I get the guest on the spot to choose the piece of music that will be the outro music on the episode.
Okay.
I don't want to give you too long to think about it. I know you like quite a lot of bands. We sat and talked in London about sort of metal and rock bands and
Yeah.
stuff. But what is a song that means a lot to you that when I ask the question, it instantly comes to your kind of heart and soul that you think would be a great outro song for you that personally sums up RJ Mitte and, you know, your music taste and your love for music?
Yeah, there was a few songs, but I think the Breaking Bad theme song
Yeah.
would be a good kill this interview.
Perfect. Okay, that's absolutely fine. And have you been going to any, well, there's not any on, but have you got any gigs coming up or any festivals or anything?
Well, I just saw I was actually just I don't know if you know who Danzig is.
Yeah, I do.
Glenn Danzig. So I just had lunch with him the other day, or dinner
Wow.
with him the other day. Talked to George with Hollywood Undead not too long ago.
Very cool.
I got plans, but as of right now, nothing really. Just because it's society's weird right now,
Yeah.
I'll go to private venues or private things where it's like a closed down event, but you ain't catching me at any mass parties. That's just a recipe for disaster right now, and it's not even COVID that I'm worried about.
No, just idiot.
Everyone, it's wild right now, man.
I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. I know it's been a long time. It's good to catch up with you again, and I hope we don't leave it so long next time.
For sure. Well, you know how to find me. Any questions, or if you have any more ideas, hit me up, man.
So there it is. There's my interview with me and the absolutely outstanding actor RJ Mitte. A hero to me, one of the best people in the business and so easy to talk to. We just click from the moment we speak, and do you know what? I can't wait to get him back on for future episodes of the Mark and Me podcast. We did discuss his brand new film Triumph. I've been lucky enough to see this film and it's out right now. It's absolutely amazing and you will love it, so please go and check this film out. And as always, let me know on social media what you think. All the links to my social media are on markandme.com. On there's my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, and also my email. I personally respond to every single message I ever receive, every tweet and every Facebook comment, and I'm very proud of that. And that won't ever change, so if you've enjoyed today's episode, please let me know and I promise to reply. If you've really enjoyed today's episode, I do have a Patreon page set up. I do this to make sure I can fund the podcast to go on all various different platforms, and it really does help. You can go on the Patreon site and there's a link on markandme.com, and on there you can be a patron for as little as £1 per month. For that, at the moment, you're getting an opportunity to win some Last Exit to Nowhere t-shirts, some incredible prints that aren't even available to buy, artist-proof prints from Vice Press, and so many more prizes that just change from month to month. It's my way of thanking you for the support you give me, which allows Mark and Me to be all over the world on all these different platforms. So please, if you've enjoyed today's episode, jump on there and the support goes a very long way. If you don't want to support me on there, that's absolutely fine. The podcast will always remain free, but all I ask is you share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, or your Instagram. I say it on each and every episode because it's crucial to get the success behind Mark and Me. It costs absolutely nothing to do, and all those people that are on your networks then get to see this episode and hopefully will tune in and become a listener for life, and for that, it's absolutely gold, so thank you. I'll be back in only a few days' time with a brand new episode, so until then, please look after yourself, take care, and I'll speak to you all soon.